Or when I just unmuted. Um, Several things here, some of which I put in an email to you this morning.
Yep.
So not only did my tour of Key West open my eyes to some things, there were probably a dozen, if not 20, cannabis shops up and down Duval Street, the one street alone. And keep in mind, this is where cruise ships unload several thousand people most days of the week, and they spend 6 or 8 hours walking Key West, and that is probably their market. But there's a lot of tourists there as well, and residents. Interestingly, most of those shops, they're well lit, they were brand new, they're immaculate. They had seats for 8 or 10 people, and almost every one of them just had one person in there, which was the attendant behind the counter. I saw very little traffic going in and out. Interestingly, I did see one medical cannabis shop that was abandoned. Most of the open cannabis shops have a sign in front saying no card required. So they're clearly dealing with non-medical products. But that was interesting. So, but that prompted me to do my own little tour, own little walkabout yesterday. We eat at the Star Bar in Ingersoll a lot. Right next door is Dispensary, DES, Dispensary, which is a hemp shop, as far as I can tell, purely a hemp shop with a variety of fascinating products. First of all, you can purchase with a card or cash. They don't take checks. Second of all, the amount you can purchase is unlimited. Third of all, the nature of the products that they hand out or produce are, to me, fascinating. One of which is a 12-ounce can, which you can see here, that contains 100 milligrams of THC.
Yep.
It comes with a closable top. Never seen that on a aluminum can before, but as the sales lady said, this will last you 3 or 4 days. You want to be able to close it up.
Yep.
Gummy bears or gummies, 20 milligrams of THC per gummy.
Yeah, and I think that does speak to kind of what some of the concern broadly, is if you're familiar, I think I've mentioned that in adult use markets, they have limits on THC, on the per serving, end container or package basis. And essentially the industry standard is, 10 milligrams per serving, and 100 milligrams per package. So that's just kind of what I'm speaking to, where there are products in the consumable hemp space that are, sometimes, multiples or orders of magnitude more potent than what would be allowed in adult use dispensaries.
Well, the reason I bring this up is I think the hemp market will definitely impact the medical program. In fact, when we see some, it's too early yet to see this, but we may see it yet. If THC is available to adults walking off the street, and of course at a lower cost, this can here is 15 cents per milligram of THC. These gummies are 7.2 cents per milligram of THC. I think our medical products, as last time I calculated, were running around 19 cents per milligram of THC, and maybe they've been able to lower the price since then. But purely on a milligram per milligram basis, they compete with the medical program, and of course may allow an outlet for folks who are looking for more than medical benefit but are seeking euphoria. And maybe we'll see some leveling off on our waivers. Maybe we'll see some leveling off even on our programs and our purchases. And in walking about, I also walked into the Bud and Mary shop in Windsor Heights. An interesting experience. They still take only cash for everything, but they also have a hemp section. I was able to peruse the hemp products available there. They're much lower amounts and concentrations than I saw in the dispensary shop. They asked for ID when you walk in. I had ID, so I gave it to them. I don't know if they'd even let you in if you didn't have ID, but I did not need a card to walk in and inspect the hemp section. Interestingly, in the maybe 10 minutes I was there, By the way, this shop was busy, unlike the shops in Florida. There's probably in 10 minutes episode, there were probably 8 or 10 people either in or in and out the shop. But I was able to hear on 3 separate confrontations between a clerk and a client. I was able to hear in full the 30 to 60-second pitch for the waiver. And apparently everyone who's not heard about the waiver will hear about it from the clerk saying, here's what you can buy, here's the limit, but you can go back to your original doctor and give them about a month and go back to them and you can obtain, higher doses. And they gave examples of 10, 25, 50 milligrams, whatever it is you wish. So I think this has relevance to our next topic of conversation, which is some educational materials for the physicians and nurse practitioners and PAs of Iowa who are in a position to prescribe. I think we need to give them the benefit of some of the things we've learned in the last 6 years about what is the benefit of medical cannabis, what are the limitations of medical cannabis, what does it take to get the benefits? You really need to get stoned to get the benefits. And that information, education has been missing. And I don't say this to be critical of the providers in Iowa. I say this just because it's a dearth of knowledge. It's not out there for them. And I think we're in a position to maybe have the responsibility to actually put that out there. So, and one last item. This is apparently gummies. Yeah, gummies. It's 10 milligrams per gummy, but it's not THC, it's THCP.
Yep.
Which I was told by the sales lady is 33 times more potent than THC. It will last up to 3 days if you take it, and be sure you take it in the morning so you can see how you react to it in the course of the day. I didn't figure out the price per milligram on this one, but these are available there. And anybody 21 or older, and you do have to show ID.
Yeah.
Even I had to show ID with my gray hair. Can walk in and purchase, limited only by the amount of dollars they have in their pocket or what's on their credit card.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say those products, in particular, whether it's, I just kind of call it like the acronym of the week, whether it's, Delta 8 or Delta 10 or THCP or THCO or, HHC or, there's many of them. I think those are kind of definitely some of the larger concerns. The legislation that we have now, doesn't ban any of those, but I can tell you that many states across the country are banning those kind of derivative or isomer products. Again, because how they're manufactured is not clear. There's what they do, how they interact other than being intoxicating is really not known. So definitely putting guardrails or prohibitions around those is again, whether we're talking states across the country or even FDA, they're particularly concerned about the derivative cannabinoids. We say we don't, there's still a lot that we don't know about THC and this or that, or research hasn't been done, and those are kind of a whole nother world unto themselves.